guys, let's work on some area. So the true definition of area is the number of square units that it takes to cover a surface. And you know, the best example that I could possibly give you is to look in your kitchen or look in the bathroom or somewhere and look at the number of tiles that is covering that floor in that area where you are at. In this case, in this picture, this is a kitchen floor, and each of these square units, each of these tiles added together would give us the area. Okay, so I brought a bunch of different examples with me today right here to kind of really briefly look at area with you guys, okay? So if I was just doing the rudimentary version of area, back really when you were in 3rd grade and learning how to multiply, you were working with the area model and you would make an array. If I would count up each of these square units and just tell the sum of how many I counted up, that is going to give me my area. So let's just look at a few real quick. So this one, in this case, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 this way in my array. And my length would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 times 4 would be 20 units squared. Or if I literally counted each of these units, I would find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So it's a number of units covering a given area, and that's why we say squared, because we're working with 2 dimensions here, guys. Okay, let's look at another example here. So this one here, if I counted this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 square units. But once again, to show you that example of the array and take it back to when you first learned it, this would be a 5 by 2 array or a 2 by 5 array, and we know 5 times 2, 2 times 5 is equivalent to 10. You can look at the other 2 on this page, guys, if you still want to kind of bring back those memories to help you to figure out that the area is a number of square units that it takes to cover a surface. Now, this is a very common problem, guys, and one that a lot of people kind of get messed up with. Now, I actually put a square here today, but in the future, you may not have a square in your area. So it says I have a square with each side length measuring 9 centimeters. Now, a lot of people will freeze up immediately because they're like, uh-oh, I only see one number here. But we know a couple of things, and you know, a couple of things are very important here. I have a square with each side length measuring 9 centimeters. Well, back when we were learning about quadrilaterals, we learned that a square has 4 congruent sides. So therefore, this side is equivalent to 9 centimeters, this side is equivalent to 9 centimeters, this side is equivalent to 9 centimeters, and this side is equivalent to 9 centimeters. Okay, so if I want to find the area, okay, the perimeter, I would simply add together the 4 sides. So I would take 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, or 9 times 4, and find that in that case. If I want to find out how many square units are covering this figure, okay, I'm trying to think, okay, think array. So I have 9 columns, and I have 9 rows, right? Well, I could either count like that, or I could simply multiply length times width. In this case, they're both the same number. 9 times 9, my area is equivalent to 81 centimeters squared. Okay, there are 81 square units covering this square. A lot of times, people will take 9 times 4. You know, they're thinking perimeter here. So you really have to think about it. You really have to sketch. Let's look at another one. Mrs. Austin, read along with me, guys, as I read. Mrs. Austin would like to cover the school activity room with new blue tile. The activity room is a rectangle with the length of the room being 50 feet and the width being 25 feet. How many square feet is the activity room? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually draw that rectangle. So here's my rectangle. The length is equivalent to 50 feet and the width is 25 feet. And because I saw blue tile, okay, cover the activity room, I'm not going around the outside here. So therefore, I'm trying to figure out how many square units, and if I drew in 50 and 25, would cover that activity room floor. Well, if I think about it here, I could individually draw and count all of those units, or I could simply take length times width. So area equals length times width, which would be the same as 50 times 25. 50 times 25 is really 500. 500 feet squared. And don't forget that label, it's squared because we're working with 2 dimensions, length and width. As always, you guys can go over to the Class Fusion page to check out further resources to help you master area.